Hello and welcome to another show of Let's Talk About Ice Live, crossing over from Gold Coast, Queensland tonight. And before we get started, don't forget our Neo range, not even once, guys. That is our message. We do this show so that others can be educated on the dangers of ice. You can share this on your Facebook to help others understand how quickly ice can take over a person, and recovery is available, but it's actually only 2% of people recover from ice addiction. So our message is not even once abstinence from that particular drug. All drugs have side effects and consequences, guys, but this particular drug is destroying lives out there. We're here to unveil the enemy. So not even once is our message, like our tops and our brand Neo. Thank you to Eagle Trailers and Campers for making this possible and allowing us to bring out the range to support the name and the message behind what we do. Thank you also to the Rotary up in Mareeba, who have sponsored some schools up in Mareeba to have the education, as well as Document Solutions. Colin from Document Solutions, they provide head office here with an amazing printer that we can print all our materials off to give out to people and resources. Thank you, Colin. If you need any printing done, go down and see Colin from Document Solutions. And guys, just need to let you know, Storage King have been looking after us as well in Ashmore, with some stuff that has been donated to us. They've been storing it for the longest time, so thank you so much. We have Ross down there from Storage King in Ashmore, who's been a real blessing to AAIC, so thank you. We've got a community forum coming up, and I need you to really please share this on your page, because you don't know who needs to attend it. It is in Adelaide, in Northern Rivers. It's on Tuesday the 9th of April at 7 o'clock, and it's at Playford Uniting Church at Curtis Road, Manopara in South Australia. It is a free event. The Rotary and other people within the community have sponsored it, and Northern Carers Network have actually sponsored this event. We're here not to just do another forum on ice, okay, to talk about the problem. We know that there is a problem. We're here to talk about the solution and what AAIC have been doing about it, in relation to education, awareness, training people within communities, but also providing brief interventions for those in addiction. So I encourage you to get down there. If you're from Adelaide, please support us, because we are an unfunded charity. Come down. We're doing it because of love. Yeah, we care about the next generation. We care about your kids and your community. So please come and be informed, understand what ice looks like, the dangers of it, the long-term effects. Awareness is the key, and if you are aware, you can have your eyes open within your community and within your family unit. So we invite you. We ask for a gold coin donation if you'd like to help out with the costs, but it is a free event, and we will be delivering some valuable information for Northern Rivers. So we look forward to attending that. That's Tuesday the 9th, 7 p.m. The details are on our Facebook page under events. And I think I've linked it up to the top of the page, so you can get all the particulars there. If you need to speak to somebody, there's a number there that you can call, and we have our national number that you can give us a call on, and that's 1-800-NO-TO-ICE, and that's 1-800-NOTOICE. I'm not going to take up too much time doing plugging anything else or speaking about other stuff, because I'm really keen to move forward and have a chat with the guys that we have. I was going to say in the studio, no, in the office today. And I've known one of the young men while he was in addiction, and he's come through the other side, thank God, with a lot of prayer and a lot of love. But they have both of them have quite a testimony to share, and they have agreed to come on to the show in hope that others don't have to follow suit and make the same mistakes and waste the same time that they did. Like I said, a very small percentage of people that embark on ice addiction actually come out the other side, and we're really, really blessed to have these guys, and we look forward to working with them in AAIC as well, helping educate youth on the dangers of ice, and helping other people that like us, if somebody's helped us, helping others to create a pathway into rehab and into recovery long term. So we are a family here at AARC. If I'm talking to you and you're that person that's in contemplation stage, please call us, because we're here to help you. Yeah, 1-800-NO-TO-ICE, NOTOICE, or just send us a message. Yeah, we will be happy to have a chat. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the two twins sitting beside me. And I know I had to go, which one's which, all the time. But they're both quite unique and have their own individual stories. But I met Jai. Welcome, Jai and Shane, on the show. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate your hearts to share. I met Jai, probably about a year and a half, maybe 2.
Maybe
about a year and a half ago.
Like nearly 2 years ago.
Nearly 2 years ago, and we were, we did a lot of praying together, and Joe was in active addiction, and was suffering the psychosis side of things when we met, and wow, I'll let him share the story, Joe. When we met a couple of years ago, you were quite in a bad space. How did that get there? That's the question. A young, beautiful, handsome young man like you, the world at your fingertips, and I bet you never thought that you would have been.
Definitely not. When I was younger, I can remember I was like, I'll never smoke a cigarette, I'll never touch a drug, or I just had all these plans and stuff, but life doesn't always go to plan, and I don't know, just didn't have the best upbringing. Me and my brother and sister, we grew up with a single mom, and the guys that came into our life as sorry, my mind's going blank.
That's
like a father figure.
Yeah, like a father figure type.
Yep.
They just weren't the best examples, and I just I didn't really have decent people to look up to, and it was just a lot of arguing and just a lot of negative stuff in the environment we're living in, and just most of our mates were smoking pot and stuff like that, and that's sort of where it started, was smoking pot, and I was oh, I will never. So it's at first it's oh, I'll never smoke weed, I'll never do this.
Yeah. Smoke cigarettes.
And then, I'll never smoke cigarettes. I ended up smoking cigarettes. And then I tried weed. And then I was oh, well, I'll just stick to this. I won't do anything else. But, yeah, eventually, situations just got, worse and stuff. Just more arguing and just more bad influences, and I just wasn't really dealing with the way my life was very well. And I thought, well, I'm stuck in this, so it's why bother really trying to change anything? So I ended up, I was at a friend's house, and I was just really tired, and just, I was just drinking and smoking weed and stuff, and then I was sitting at this table, and then this guy pulls out this pipe, a crack pipe, what they call it, and he's smoking it and stuff, and I'm what does that do for you? And so I was curious, and so I ended up, he's oh, you just feel amazing, and you never feel tired, and blah, 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 and
you don't look amazing though.
It's such a lie. You become this really horrible person.
Yeah.
And, I was stealing from people that I loved and stuff, just to try and pay for the next bit of crack.
And then you owe people money, so then you have to try and do something to pay that money, and this and that. It just gets more dangerous, more crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I ended up trying it.
Just one quick question. Are we hearing everything okay? We just might bring your volume up a little bit. Yeah, we are? Okay, fantastic. Because you speak so softly. You're so
I'm
sweet.
like losing my voice.
Yeah,
It's like
I
before
know.
this.
He was losing his voice. Maybe Shane might have to help out. But yeah, so we talk about, when we do the education in schools, we talk about other drugs being doorway, you know, and you're
Yeah.
just explaining that perfect scenario
Yeah,
where you
like-
start with, you know, smoking and then a bit of weed, and then but you'll never do anything heavier, and then you end up doing something, you know, a bit of coke, maybe a bit of speed, and then you kind of step your way into it. Nobody starts out, guys, thinking, oh, you know, when I grow up, I want to be an ice addict, you know, or a heroin addict, or an alcoholic, or anything like that. You don't start out like that. You open doors that it leads you there, you know, and this is a perfect example of, you know, what happens. So thank you for you know, talking and saying that truth.
Yeah.
So you ended up then trying this ice pipe, and well, obviously things weren't changing it with your environment, so
yeah.
you thought you could master that, maybe?
Definitely. And so I tried it, and then it doesn't take long before you just like, it just changes you, and the non-sleeping thing, like I just honestly started losing my mind. Like I can remember not sleeping for nearly a week, and then I stole a friend's car, and then like I ended up crashing because I'd
was
like
like
come
head
down.
on too,
I crashed head on
Wow.
into this car, and I had speed and ice and the pipe and like all these bloody tools in my car, and so the cops saw all that, and it was just crazy. And then crazy me, I was like trying to drive away and stuff. Like you're just not the same person. I was
just
losing it.
Well, the truth, guys, is that ice hijacks the frontal lobe of your brain. The frontal lobe of your brain is in charge of making logic, rational decisions. When you don't have that, you operate with your midbrain, and that's your animal instinct. Okay, the animal instinct only cares about the next 5 minutes of pleasure. It doesn't think logic, rational decisions. So that's what happens to somebody that's addicted to ice and they're using this substance. It's a concoction of chemicals, and most people, even after getting clean, don't realize what was in it. You know, the fact that there's glass in there, and that there's, unless they've been around cooks or, you know, people that are making it, and even then, because you can't think logical, rational decisions, you don't process that, mate, this is poison. You know, you got, you know, acetone, nail polish remover, and Drano, and countertop cleaner, and, you know, fillers in there, and you don't realize what you're actually doing, and it's destroying your brain.
Definitely.
You know.
Yeah.
So you went on that journey, and how long did that take, Joe, before you got from, like, when you first started, like, using maybe marijuana, and then got onto ice?
I was smoking weed for like a couple of like a long time.
Yeah.
And I just always told myself, yeah, I'll stick to the green and not touch anything else, and then yeah, just one day I was just like, well, why not? Don't really. So I was just in a really dark place, and I didn't really have much to lose, so it's like, whatever. So I tried it, and then.
Did you understand what was about to take place when you said yes to that pipe?
No, I had no
No
idea.
idea.
I was just like, I'm tired. Life's not great, and I don't know. It just like honestly went 10 times worse.
Yeah.
So it's like smoked it because I just like. It is addicting.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling and stuff like that, but it's just the cons. That's so like. The bad outweighs the good so much. Like, I was like 43 kilos and like 45 kilos, just like very, very thin.
Wow.
And like, I was like losing my hair a little bit and eyebrows and stuff just because I was so unhealthy, because it's just crap that you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
And the lack of sleep and just really malnourished and stuff. And I just became this. I stopped looking in the mirror and stuff because it was just like hectic.
Yeah.
I just like didn't even recognize myself, and
And Shane, where were you in this whole journey? Like, I know you have your own story as well. Do you want to share any of that? Do you want to share a little bit of what? Because I know twins, you're very connected. And I remember when I met you, Jai, you were missing your brother, and there was this, you told me, we can feel each other, and I was like, really, wow, that's, so I'm wondering how you were coping with all of this.
Well, like, at the time, like, it was hurting me, but like, I couldn't go to him and be like, why are you doing this? Like, you can have such a better life, like, and like, it's gonna be good soon, like, you don't have to use this to cope and like feel better, because I was doing basically the same thing. Like, we couldn't be there for each other, because like, and there was a time for a little while where we weren't together, and he was just off doing his crazy thing and I was doing my crazy thing. Like, I almost ended up in jail because I was just like high and drunk all the time, and like I ended up going to a remand center for like 4 months at Arthur Gorrie, and like I thought I was going to jail, and like when you're high you don't care about anything, but when you sober up you're like, most of those people in there, it's because of drugs like ice and just all those crazy sorts of drugs like cocaine. Is like, they're all angry drugs, and like mixing it with alcohol and like all these different things just changes the chemicals in the brain, and they're not the same person anymore. Like, there was people that I met in there, and they told me some of the things that they'd done, and I was like talking to them, and they're off it now, and they're clean, and they've been in there for a while and stuff like that, and I was just like, I couldn't ever see this person doing that thing, but it's the drugs, it's ice, it's all of those things. They change you and make you do things. Like, it's like you're possessed, basically. You don't have control over it. It has control over you.
That's right. That's right.
I like remember being high and drunk, and I just stopped caring about myself and everything. Like, all I cared about was just being high. Like you said, that 5 minutes of just like pleasure, and like I would walk past cars and I didn't care if it was like a Harley or as a bike. You're like, because in your mind you don't care about anything. You think you're Superman, but really you're 43 kilos. You're a skinny little thing that's like
lost
on its way to die. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. And I'd walk past cars and I'm like, oh, there's nice sunglasses. And in my head, I just didn't care. So I'd take the glasses, walk off. Like, I just wasn't caring about anyone but myself. And got high one time. I literally remember it was like a month of being in and out of the watch house, in and out. I just didn't care, like, and then I remember being let out of the watch house, and straight away, because I was hallucinating from the drugs, I thought, like, as I was walking out, my friend who was a copper, who, like, it just didn't make sense really, and so I went to try and save this dude who didn't even exist really. In my mind I thought he did, and grabbed a fire hose, went to the police station, and they came out and I sprayed like 10 of them, and then I remember just like thinking like, oh, I'll be out of the watch house in like 4 hours, I'll be able to get my next hit or whatever. And then like they said, I was like, what are you doing, like, when am I getting out of here? Like, because I just thought, oh, same old, they'll let me out, it'd be good, go back to do the same thing. But like, and it wasn't major things, but all these little things, they just add up and it gets worse and worse. Like, and they're like, no, you're like, the truck's going to be here in the morning, we're taking you away. And I was like, yeah, right. I just didn't believe them. I couldn't see that I was doing anything wrong, and I just thought like the world revolved around me and getting my drugs and everything. And then, like, he's like, alright, like, because I stayed overnight, he's like, I'll be here in the morning, the truck will be here. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I just didn't believe him. He was just trying to scare me, like everyone else tried to scare me about drugs and all this stuff. And I had to learn the hard way, and it's what I don't want people to do. Like, I could have died. It was like, I was trying to steal off people that could have easily shot me or drugged me, and I wouldn't have ever woke up again. Like, I remember, like, he came in the morning, the copper, and he was like, alright, the truck's here. And I was like, yeah, right, I still didn't believe him. And then he puts cuffs on my hands. I was like, oh yeah, that's normal. And then we're walking out a little bit further, and he puts cuffs on my ankles too. And I was just like, okay, this is different. And he's walking me out, and usually we go right, and then we go out. Like, I knew this like the back of my hand because I was just doing it all
Yeah.
the time. I was always drunk and high and getting into trouble, and then he walks me left and left again in a different way, and I was just like, he's still just trying to scare me. Just didn't believe, like, and then the truck's there, and he's like, all right, hop in, and I was like, you're kidding, man. Like, he's like, I was like, you're not kidding, and I got in, and then he was driving, and still in my head I was like, maybe he's just dropping me off home, like,
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
truck, trying to scare the crap out of me, and then, like, I remember going for like an hour and a half or something, and then we're on the highway, and then I see out the window of the truck, like, people are looking at me while I got my car, so I just felt so embarrassed, and just like, what have I done? Like, I was sobered up, like, and, like, realised the mistake I'd made, and, like, then I see Arthur Gorrie Remand Centre, and I was like, it just got real, and then
Yeah.
I went in there, and, like, I was sober, and fine, so I thought, but then they took me to they take everyone to get checked out in their, like, medical centre part, and then, like, I ended up staying there a little bit longer because I had to wait for a cell, and yeah, I stayed in there for a little bit, and then I don't even know how long I was in there because I started losing a little bit because of the drugs, and it just messed me up, and then, like, I remember just hallucinating all this stuff, like, this crazy stuff, thinking that, like, the guard was literally, like, some demon, and I was like, I'm sober right now, so I believed that it was happening, like,
Yeah.
it was psychosis.
Yep, that's right.
And, like, I was
And-
like, this is, like, I remember, like, trying to have a conversation with this thing, and in my mind, he was having a conversation back, and, like, I thought I was talking, it was just craziness, but it was psychosis, and, like,
It is so good that you're sharing this point.
Yeah.
I want you to
Yeah.
continue, but guys, you know, we
So
explain to the
crazy.
kids that you can go into psychosis the very first time you ever touch ice, and some people don't actually come out of psychosis ever. You know, you can live.
That's what they thought
trip
with me.
something in the brain, and you know, quite frankly, that's what I was scared that when I met Jai that
I
he was going
definitely
to.
slipping
He was
into
in
it.
psychosis, and we weren't managing to get through.
Yeah.
And I was afraid for him that he wasn't going to come out, and that is
Yeah.
such a huge possibility. You know, some
Yeah.
people don't come out. A lot of people in the mental health
That's what they
hospitals
thought.
don't
That's what
come
they
out.
thought with me.
So you're blessed to be here and have
Like,
another
I
chance.
was
to
in
say,
Logan Hospital in the psych ward, like, for like 5 weeks or something. I was in there, and, like, at the time you're not thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just having a psychosis, this isn't real. You think it's real, so it's like, and you don't believe you're crazy actually, kind of thing. You think this is actually happening because in your mind you can see it and you can hear this stuff, but, like, you're just, your mind is so damaged from the drugs, and you go into this psychosis, and you're right, like, some people don't come out of it, and that's what they're all saying, like, to my friends and family. It was like, and stuff, they're like, he might not even come out of this, like, he might be here for the rest of his life, just tripping out, like, I was eating bark, and just, like, all this, just, like, talking about the craziest stuff, like,
Yeah.
and a lot of it I just don't even remember, because it's just, my mind was just gone, and, like, I had people come and pray for me, and, like, I was just telling them some of the craziest stuff, and, like, it was just mental, and then, like, people were praying for me, and at the time I didn't even know if I believed in God. I didn't know what to believe, because people were saying I was crazy, and I just, yeah, all this stuff was happening, and then I'm hearing about my brother and stuff, like, being on ice, so I'm just, like, freaking out about him while I'm going through this other stuff, and I was just like, man, I should have been there for him.
Wow.
Like, now I'm lost my mind, and I don't know where my brother is. I'm hearing all these crazy stories about him and stuff, and then,
Wow.
like, he ends up meeting these Christian fellas, and, like, I start hearing that he's doing well, and he was wearing one of your bracelets, actually, the ice, like, putting the freeze on ice bracelets and stuff like that, and he gave me one, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that for sure. Like, and then, yeah.
Did you know what was going
Just
on with
crazy.
Shane? Well, I mean, you were
Yeah.
very present when I met you, you were really struggling, but I remember you were so concerned about your brother.
Yeah, because for a while I honestly didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
Like, and it was, yeah, it was hard. Like,
Did you know he was going through, with
Yeah.
drugs and psychosis? Yeah.
It was just honestly really sad.
Yeah.
And like I can remember going and visiting and stuff, and it was so intense. Like, because just not the same person, and I almost felt like I lost my brother. Like it was so hectic.
Is that what encouraged you to get clean?
Yeah, I was like, this could easily, like, if anything, I should be in here, and if I keep on this road, I will be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd seen other people struggling with ice and stuff, but they'd been doing it a lot longer than me, and I was just, like, the whole time I knew I shouldn't be doing this, but it was just hard to stop. And
Yeah.
like, I can remember, like, still praying and stuff while I'm taking it, and just, like, asking God to help me to get off it and stuff, and He did, like, gave me the willpower and stuff. And,
So did you get clean first, or did you get
It was like
at the same time?
same time sort of
Yeah.
thing,
Okay.
like slowly getting
but
good
it was,
and like
yeah, it was a struggle. Like, I remember us, like, calling each other on Messenger and
Messenger.
Messenger, and explaining, like, just how we're feeling and stuff, like, yeah, just like how we're feeling, so, like, because with the ice and stuff, I feel like that's what it was that gave me, like, anxiety, and just I became so depressed, and and yeah, like, isolated myself from people, and then I just, like, yeah, because I was depressed, I pushed people away and stuff, and then that led to anxiety because I hadn't been around people for a while, and didn't remember what. Thank you.
Grab two. Thank you.
Thank you.
What you do for one, you have to do for the other. They're twins. I love it. So then, like, after seeing your brother, knowing that he was locked up, and that's what gave you the inspiration
Yeah, 'cause
to clean up.
Definitely, I was
Yeah.
like, I want to be like I want to be in a good frame of mind for my brother as well, like, because I want to be able to encourage him to get through whatever this is that
Awesome.
he's going through, and it was just, yeah, it took so much, like, willpower, like, it's definitely makes you stronger, like, coming through it,
Yeah.
like, headstrong, everything.
And it is possible. It's totally possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's our wish is that nobody has to go there. That these youth understand, that if they go down that road, it's going to hurt, and there's going to be scars. And if they get out, they're going to be very blessed. So our heart is just, you don't need to go there. You don't need to,
Don't think about it. It's not a good idea.
No, it's not, is it?
You end up like broke. You end up like really broke, dead, or in jail. Like it doesn't end well at all.
Yeah.
And even if you have a girlfriend or family, like, it's not a good relationship anymore because you're not that same person. You just lose everything. You literally lose everything.
All my relationships and stuff just became, like, toxic because I just, like, was treating people just like garbage and just, like, using everyone, and
Awesome.
yeah.
We have a question. How much were you spending on ice a day?
Well,
Were you smoking all the time, or?
yeah, like, constantly. I didn't like coming down, so I was just, like, pretty much my whole pay.
How?
And then like weed too and stuff, like we ended up
And I also had friends that were
Ticking,
smoking
yeah.
it, so they would give me some, and then I would give them some.
Yeah.
And, so it was just like everyone just using each other, and
Yeah.
and then
or
stealing
I would
to try
steal
and get it,
things
Yeah.
to pawn and then pay for it. that
Yeah.
way. Or I'd steal something and then give it to the dealer, and then they'd be like, oh, yeah. It was just a terrible way to live, honestly.
But that is the average lifestyle. You know, somebody entrapped in addiction, it is you end up stealing, killing, even you know, hurting people that you love. But most importantly, you're just hurting yourself.
Definitely,
You're just
yeah.
damaging and destroying not only your organs and your brain, but your soul, because you become somebody else. And one day you wake up and you are so deep in this trench that you don't know how to get out. So how did you get out? Like, I know you got locked up for a while, Shane, and that would have helped a bit,
Yeah.
not being able to get the gear.
Like, you still can, but I just,
I've
like,
heard
knew that I didn't want to, like,
Wow.
and, like, I knew that, like, if I went back to that lifestyle, like, I was either going to end up back in there for a lot longer, or in jail, or dead, and, like, I was just, like, I'd ruined all my most of my relationships. Like, I'm still trying to fix them up now, like, with my sisters and just, like, my nephews and nieces and all those people that I wasn't around for and all this stuff, and hurt and, like, even fought with, like, physically, and, like, it just wasn't good, physically, verbally,
Yeah.
and it's just, it was just bad. Like, I remember one time, like, even, like, just crazy, I took jewelry from my mum and this person and that person. Like, I just didn't even care. Like,
Yeah.
I just, when I talk about that person, I just don't even feel like it's me, because it's just like, I don't, like, I know I could never do that now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It's not who
crazy. It
you are.
changes you.
And that's what we say to families out there. That's, you know, that's not your son, that's not your child, or that's not your husband or wife, whoever it is, your loved one. It is the drug talking. It hijacks the brain, you know, it destroys the soul, and very, very quickly the drug is in charge, and the person becomes another person. They really do, but they're in there. See, and they're in there, and I know from my own experience that I want it out. And I say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I want out. I don't want this crazy lifestyle anymore. I want out. But you don't know how to get out, because your frontal lobe of your brain's not working. So you can't work out how to get out. You know, you want to stop this merry-go-round and this craziness and the psychosis and, you know, the depression and everything that comes along with it, but you don't know how to. So you just keep going, and you have another hit to try and mask the pain and the hurt that you're going through. So it is an entrapment.
Yeah, it is. Like, I think, like, some good ways to get out of it is, like, to really just, like, to like, exercise, surround yourself with people that care about you, and it's like, and that's hard to, because, like, those people you've hurt now, and, like, but, like, the ones that really love you and stuff, they're gonna be there for you and know that, like, that drug just wasn't, that's not you, it was the drug, like, and so I surrounded myself with good people, and, like, I just come to terms with, like, that actually is a problem. Like, there's no functioning ice heads, like crackheads, you know what I mean? There's no functioning crackheads, and I just had to come to terms with, like, that it actually, the drugs, the alcohol, it all is a problem. And, like, I started thinking about my future, and I was just like, do I want to be, like, because I started this stuff young, and I was like, do I want to be bloody 25, 26, which is a young age, with no teeth, my hair missing, like, I'm not even going to have a liver to be around. I won't even be around, like, kids. I won't be there for my wife. Like, what kind of a father am I going to be? Like, I just started thinking about my future, and, like, just not thinking about, oh, my next hit and all that stuff, like, because I started looking at it differently, and when I was thinking about drugs and stuff, I wasn't thinking, like, oh, it's going to be so good, and you have to get out of that denial thing of, like, oh, it's good, because it's not, like, It really isn't.
It just destroys everything. So when we go into a classroom, we say to the kids, what do you want to be? What do you want to do with your life? Let's talk about that. And then they'll tell you, I want to, be a scientist, or I want to be a teacher, or I want to be, phys ed, a personal trainer, or whatever it is. And then we go, you touch this drug and it's going to take all of that away from you. It'll destroy not only your future, but your health, your family, your relationships, everything. It's destruction, So tell me something. Did you guys, did you take meds? It was one of our questions.
Yeah,
did you take meds to get off?
So, because of the psychosis, I was on some medication and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I'm not against medication at all.
Yeah.
I think it will help some people. At the time, though, I was getting better, and I was, starting to exercise, and I was surrounding myself with good people, and, I decided to come off it, but, I'm definitely not against it, and I think it's a good idea. I think that stuff can help, keep you calm, and not that feeling of I just need to get this, I need to get that, or and I think that sort of stuff can help. I didn't take specific medication. I don't know what they would use for ice and stuff, but I think it'd just be stuff to keep you calm and that. But yeah, I think exercise, because it gets the endorphins and all that stuff back into your brain, and feeling good, and you're gonna feel anxious and you will feel depressed trying to come off it. So I think exercise is good for that, and counselling too, to be able to, I think that's a good thing too, being able to talk about problems that might be happening at that time, and dealing with the solutions to get through them right then and there, and yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, because when you first, your brain's starting to operate, you still not processing things properly, and you've got so many problems that Ice World has brought you that you've got to work through them, and when you start looking at all the problems, I know for me it looked like a big snowball, and I'd get more anxious and, end up in tears going, I can't do life, this is too hard. So if you have somebody that, can help you through at that time, that's why we have a buddy system here at AARC. People like us who have been through it, have recovered from that, understand the journey, and we're able to buddy up with somebody that wants to come out of Ice World, and we can help them, create a pathway into recovery, call them and, encourage them to get on a tripod system of support, which is counselling.
Yeah.
It is having a buddy and doing meetings, whether it's AA meetings, NA meetings, CMA meetings, church, just a group that can love you unconditionally back to life.
And people that have been through it, and obviously everyone has different experiences on ice, so I would never be I know exactly what you're going through, but you have a lot more of an idea of what they may have gone through than someone who has never taken ice.
But generally, the psychosis, the entrapment, the stealing, the lying, all of that is generally the same. They're all slightly different stories, but what it does chemically to the brain is the same. What it does to your organs, the fact that it destroys your liver and your kidneys is the same. Okay, we've got another question here, guys. Do you guys go to a 12-step program for support?
I actually don't. I'm because I think the last time I did it was a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I just try and just focus on positive things and stuff. And exercise is definitely the best thing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have an addiction, have an exercise addiction.
That's it.
It releases really good endorphins. It's good mentally and physically.
Yes.
And it'll also help you sweat any of that crap out.
Yep.
So
do you go to any youth group or do you go to church? Do you
I do go to church and stuff. But yeah, so I had a really good support thing when I was coming off it. Actually lived in this big house with a bunch of...
that's definitely the biggest help.
Bunch of crazy Christians. It was so fun.
You're a creative Christian, I'm
Yeah.
a creative Christian.
Yeah. And,
That's good. That's,
So you have a
they-
network of people. That's what we're talking about. A
I
network of
felt
people
so
that
bad
love
because I
you.
was not the nicest person to be around at the time, like coming off everything, and then they're like taking me to church and stuff, and I'm just like this bogan swearing and just like, but now I'm like, yeah.
Now
I'm a
you're one
good-
of those crazy Christians helping the next one,
exactly.
eh?
I have a good relationship with God, and I like, have more respect for myself than to do
Good.
ice. Like, if you love yourself, don't touch that crap.
Well, you're worth it. You're
Mm.
worth it, you know. And we were created for something amazing. Every single person is worth having recovery, you know, and to live a life worth living, you know.
Exactly.
So that's the hardest thing to really get through to some of these teenagers is that, you know, they're worth. They don't need to do this. They don't need to go down the world's ways of saying that, you know, drugs and alcohol's cool. It's not cool. Yeah, it's not cool to be on ice. Like, you know, it's you end up look like a lunatic. You end up destroying your future and the people
You literally
around
have
you.
nothing.
No.
You lose everything. There's nothing to gain. And
So,
like,
what do you feel you lost, like, in that journey?
I lost like myself. I lost relationships. Like, because I just treated so many people like crap, and I just used so many people, and I lost definitely a lot of respect for myself because I remember being younger and saying I would never touch this, and now I haven't even kept my own word, and I'm like lied to myself as well as like everyone else, and it was just like, it was so crazy, but by the grace of God I got out of it. And,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And did you do rehab?
I didn't. I was gonna. It was. I just had the right people around me and
Yeah.
stuff, and the right
Yeah.
support. Like, you seriously. It's definitely like it would have been way harder if I had just tried to do it all by myself.
It was people that were around like 24/7, basically like a rehab, eh?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, yeah.
Did you do some counselling?
More. I had like a mentor.
Yeah.
And he.
It was basically like a cancer, eh?
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah. And so whenever I was
Because he'd
just,
been through drugs and stuff.
yeah,
himself,
when it's good to
he'd
have
come out
someone
of it.
that understands and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever I'd like start losing it, getting angry and stuff like that, you'd just be like, okay, why are you feeling this way? Like, just like the
Yeah.
other day.
So
Just
you were
like-
doing counselling.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
What's underneath that?
Yeah.
You,
I think,
you know,
yeah, definitely
initial
getting
reaction?
to the root cause of why you're doing this drug.
Yeah.
Because then you can be like, okay, well then, if I fix the underlying issue, it might be a bit easier
Yeah.
to stop doing this.
But you spoke about something else before, earlier on in our conversation about, you know, what it was that it cost you too much. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, you
because
lose
your
way more than you
pain-
gain.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
talk about that being the cost versus benefits, and we actually teach people in community how to have that conversation with somebody that you love that may be in trapped addiction. It doesn't have to only be ice. We look at the cycle of addiction, and when they're at contemplation stage, to sit down and have that conversation, the cost versus the benefits. What does that look like? How do you speak to the person that's abusing substance? And we have some training on our webpage that you can click on, and it's called SAMHI Brief, SAMHI, so Substance Abuse and Mental Health Intervention. And it's a 2-hour training that you can actually learn from Optimal Health Group. George Patricky runs the sessions. It's a video, and you can learn what the cycle of addiction looks like, what's the underlying issues in addiction, and it's a holistic approach on that, and you learn how to have that conversation with somebody that you care about, and how to create a pathway for them to then go, okay, yep, this is costing me too much. Once you discover that, and they've discovered that, and they can see it on paper, what do you do then? So you help them make a decision and a choice, and here are your options. Then, if you choose option A with, staying in that addiction, this is where you're going, and this is what you're aiming at. If you choose option B, this is what you've got to win and what you've got to lose. So it's cost versus benefits. I encourage you, if you are a family member, somebody that's active in the community, that's influential, and have people around you that, teens, youth, people that you can, get this training and be able to have these conversations and help. That's a way that you can help. I think it's $45 or something to do the training. It's not much, and George has done that specifically to help people in the community to be able to have that conversation and help that person out of addiction. Because you can't think for yourself, you don't see the costs until it's too late. Like you're way in there, you can't see it for yourself. You know that it's hurting, but you can't see it's costing you all of this. Once somebody can sit with you and write it all down, it's a different thing. It's in your face. So I encourage you guys, if you're a family member or somebody in the community that you want to help your community, people around you, get trained up. Really, it's 2 hours of your time and of your life to have those skills, that you won't forget.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you then you went into the house and you started to be surrounded by people that were helping you in recovery, and then Shane was doing the same at the Remand Centre. And
I went from the Remand Centre to a house, and it was like a older fella and a security guard and stuff, and he actually made sure those people couldn't be around me, and basically like a rehab, because he'd been through it himself. He went to jail and all this stuff. Now he's 60 years old, and he knows exactly how to keep people on track, because he's a prison chaplain.
That's awesome.
And stuff, and he was just even at the time, I couldn't even see my brother, and that hurt me at the time, but we were both still trying to get better and grow and stuff, and it was basically rehab, and at the time, I wasn't doing well because of the way the drugs affected me. I was on medication. It's a miracle that I'm able to even speak to you clearly, because there was time for me I was just I couldn't even string together a sentence, and
I remember.
It was just crazy. And I would be so anxious and stuff about conversation, and I couldn't even think about how to even say, hey, how's it going? It's just nuts. It affects you so badly, and I just think imagine if I had kept going even further, I could have just been stuck in that psychosis and brain dead basically.
Yeah.
And it happens.
So how long have you both been clean now?
I've been clean for I'd say 3 years or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Same amount of time,
Wow, has it been that long?
I think so.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been
I don't even think about it
Yeah,
anymore.
that's right. And guys, sitting here and thinking back and remembering all of that, it's not easy to sit here and talk about this. You got to understand that, because you go home and you've activated, past and history, and it is, it's not an easy thing to do. And these guys have stepped into that arena to help you. Yeah, so I just honour you both. Thank you, and I encourage you to keep this conversation open. Yeah, we're here to help. We're family. Yeah, and that's what AARC is about. We're doing this because we want to help the next person not go there. Or if you're in that space, we're here to to help you out, because we've been there and we know.
Yeah, we're glad to bring up just a few painful memories and stuff if it's going to help even one person. Not have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Just don't even touch it once, like that chair says. Not even once.
Not even once.
It's
Don't
just
even
not
go
worth
near
it. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, don't think you're invincible.
You're smarter than this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got to read this out loud, do I?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Good, yeah.
Okay, a shout out to Stephen J from USA, administrator on Chicago Home. They do live stream 5 nights a week. He believes doing lives
Saves lives.
saves lives.
Thank you for what
He
you do.
thanks us for what we're doing.
No.
From
That's
Chicago.
awesome.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
awesome,
Isn't that awesome?
fantastic. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Steve.
Stephen J. Yeah,
Stephen J.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Stephen
you.
J.
It's awesome. It's fabulous to have the two guys here tonight. To be able to share. You know, you got young ones, you got teens. I encourage you to share this podcast. Like they're saying, you know, they didn't think that by just trying a bit of marijuana and just take. You know, everybody thinks it's all right to do a couple of party pills. We want to warn you that today they're lacing marijuana with ice. And the purpose of that is to hijack your brain real quick and transfer you in onto ice, and very very quickly you have a raging ice habit. They're cutting ecstasy tablets with ice. I don't know how many reports weekly we're hearing about people ending up in hospital thinking they were taking MDMA and having a bad trip on ice and you know, almost dying. That is happening. It's very very real. So don't think it won't happen to you. I mean, I bet.
I thought that. I thought, oh, a little bit of weed, a couple of pills.
Everyone does something.
I'll
eh?
never. I heard about psychosis even. I was like, oh, that happens to weak people and stuff. You know what I mean? And just like that's what I thought. Like I'm way too strong for that. Like little do I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, doesn't matter how tough you think you are. Like the brain can only handle so much.
Yeah.
And like it can even be that one time as well.
That's right.
And just your
Don't
mind
even
will
risk
go.
it. Don't risk it.
Not even one.
Do
Not
it.
even once.
That's it, guys. Look, I'm so grateful that you're speaking honestly from your heart. You know, this is not pre-planned. We don't talk about what we're going to talk. I just bring the guys on the show, whoever's coming on the show, and we talk openly straight from the heart. I want to hear from you, you know, what your journey was like, and so that people can learn from that. If you had any advice for, you know, for youth out there, or people contemplating, you know, thinking that, you know, they just want to party up, man, like, you know, everybody does something. What would you say to them?
I think, like, it's just honestly not worth it, and you should know your worth and not do that to yourself. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, because I honestly tried it and thought, oh, this will be like the only time I do this, and it only takes one time, and then you have like a hectic, sad story to tell other people. Yeah.
Yeah. If you
But
get
like,
out.
Yeah.
If you get out.
And that's
yeah.
if you get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you think, oh, it'll just be this one time, it'll be fun, and then you're like pawning your mother's things just to pay for your habit, and like stealing cars.
It's very quick, isn't it? It's very quick. It takes over.
Yeah, it changes your whole mind.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it.
Got a question here. Well, another thing I'd say on the advice thing is like think about how long you're at school for and all that learning you're gonna do, like, and for your future, like, you can unravel that with just like all those things and go into psychosis and never come out of it again.
Yep, that's right.
And
I feel
then
like it's
you've just wasted all those years
scary.
and you're not even,
Fun.
you're basically like not even that same person anymore, and you're just gone. Like,
Yeah.
it's a waste of a life.
I wish I had like a picture to show them what it physically does to you. Like, I'm amazed at that I got to restore
The
myself.
transformation. I'm
Yeah.
amazed. When I
Yeah.
first saw you, you know, the last time I saw you, like I said, you know, you were in active psychosis, and I didn't know what to expect when you walked into the offices today, and I'm just so grateful that you're doing so good.
Yeah, we have a question here that says, how long after you stopped did you start to feel normal again? Did it take long to establish proper sleep patterns?
Sorry, let me reread it.
Well, like, I remember like having a bit of insomnia for a little bit, and I would wake up at like 3 in the morning. Like, I'd feel alright going to sleep, but then I'd wake up like a couple of hours later or something, and then I just could not get back to sleep, and like I just have these bags, and I'd feel tired throughout the day, and like, but like, it only, I think it lasted with me probably for like 3 months. I think if you have medication to help with that, because I didn't have it, because I was coming off, I didn't have all this, I wasn't aware of, like, this is amazing what you actually have here with you guys, like, because I didn't know really about ice or the drugs that I was taking and amphetamines and all that stuff, like, so I didn't know what was happening, really,
Yeah.
and I just would not be able to sleep, and, like, I'd stay awake for hours just, like, trying to fall asleep, and, like, it was just crap as, but, like, there is, if you know
Yes.
what's going to happen, then
Yeah.
you can prepare for it, and you can take some medication to help with that.
Yeah.
With me,
Or
I'd say it was like
exercise.
3 or 4
To like weigh you
months.
out.
But yeah, exercise definitely.
That's
That'll
definitely
help you.
way
Yeah.
healthier.
Yeah.
Exercise is one of the biggest things. So I think with a lot of addictions that will help.
That honestly is like one of the biggest things.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we encourage that. And
Helping the mind, not hurting it.
that's right. But initially, in the first few weeks, you know, even the first few months, like you're saying, you may need, you know, detox, and medically, it's good to go and see a doctor and have a conversation, because ice actually puts you heightened for a very long time. It affects your central nervous system. So they can help you with some medication to, and even, you know, whether you choose to go natural herbs or medically, it'll help you relax and your nervous system to relax so you can start recovering. And then absolutely uptake, you know, some sport. Find people in recovery are the fittest people, and they're like, all, you know, gymmed out, because you gotta spend that that energy, and it helps your brain. The other thing that helps that we teach in dual diagnosis, which you guys will be offered the opportunity to do as well, is to optimal health. Okay, so George teaches us about vital greens and double strength krill oil to repair the brain. Plenty of water and sleep and exercise, sunlight, vitamin D. So you learn all these things through our training that we do with our presenters, and you at home can do it online, dual diagnosis training, and that is available on dual diagnosis website, or you can call us at the office and we can let you know how to click on or send you the link. But yeah, it's 2 days intensive workshop, and it's about a third of a certificate for in AOD, so drug and alcohol training. Yeah, it's really cool. But you learn all these things about the body, and apart from like all the underlying issues, but how to repair the body, you know. And yeah, it's really an amazing training. But vital greens, double strength krill oil, and exercise, that combination really helps the neurological pathways in the brain repair, and the organs, you know. So if you're having vital greens, it helps the organs repair itself quicker.
The damage is repairable, but it's the best thing is to just not touch it at all.
Yeah.
If you aren't, get off as quick as you can so you don't do any more damage to your
That's
brain
right.
and just ruin it. Like,
It's repairable, but you still have the scars,
yeah.
you know, and they're lifelong. Like, you know, I have kidneys and, you know, heart and, you know, memory issues. I don't know how you guys have gone with some of your memory, but
My memory, isn't that great, but it's getting better.
it's getting better.
Yeah.
Good. Keep up the exercise. It does help.
My sleeping's back to normal.
As you can see.
Yeah.
So, your final message to people at home, you know, family members or somebody that may be contemplating change.
I think don't have that attitude of just like, oh, later I'll get help, later I'll get better, later. Just like do it as soon as
'Cause the
possible.
addiction gets stronger,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
does.
harder to quit it.
And sometimes later never comes.
That's right.
Like it almost didn't with me.
Yeah.
I think like get on top of the problem as quick as possible.
That's great.
Find the best solution, and like some things might work better for other people, and find that best one that works for you, and just do that and
That's-
stick to it.
That's an awesome message, and you know you mean that from your heart.
Yeah.
So from your experience, guys, if you're that person that is contemplating change, we'd like to help you do that. You know, when it's hard to look at your options sometimes, just give us a call, send us a message. Yeah, our number here is 1-800-NO-TO-ICE, NOTOICE, or you can send us a message on Facebook or on our webpage, which is www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. And we'll provide you with a buddy that can sit down with you and look at your options and help you make some choices, better choices for your life, to step into recovery, you know, and walk with you in that journey. And that's what it's about, you know, each one reach one. And
Yeah.
it's about, you know, helping the next person. That's what we're here to do. You know, we're here, it's by giving that we receive, and we've been gifted the chance of having our life back. And who would we be if we didn't warn the next kid or the next person about, you know, that hole that you're about to fall into. So yeah, really grateful for your message tonight, guys. It's it's touched me. I think it's very powerful what you're saying. You know, it's very real. And if you know, if the parents at home, people at home have any questions, please pop them up.
We've had
Yeah.
so many questions.
Fantastic, great.
Great.
So we will be online. Our care team will be online, and I'll link in the guys if they want to answer any questions to as well. So if you have any questions, please pop them up. We'll be happy to answer those. Down the barrel. We'll go one at a time. Usually we say one word to describe ice addiction. Right down the barrel. What would that be? One word.
Hell.
Hell. Yeah.
To be honest.
Shane?
Pain.
Pain. Yes.
Completely.
Anyone
Yep.
want that?
And that's not what you want for your life, guys. So not even once is our message. Can I teach you our not even once?
Yeah, I think I've seen Hayden was showing me.
You ready? Not
Not
even
even
once.
once.
Good night, guys. Love you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay clean.